Their annual day, workers and workers' organizations held a vigil in Sulaymaniyah on the International Labour Day, demanding the activation and enforcement of the workers' law. The head of the Construction Workers Union in Sulaymaniyah, Othman Haman Saeed, stated that one of the most prominent issues in Kurdistan that they are protesting for is occupational safety, as the region annually experiences accidents of death and frequent injuries due to the employer's lack of attention to occupational safety. In France, thousands of people, labor unions, organizations joined the traditional May Day protest march, the first amid the novel coronavirus pandemic, marked by clashes and vandalism in some areas. In the cities of Paris and Lyon, processions were blocked by radical elements who attacked police and vandalized shop windows, commercial establishments, and public property. Paris police said it intervened after a pre-procession made up of radical elements blocked the progress of the rest of the procession. Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin announced on Twitter that 34 people had been arrested after they came to interrupt the march. Instead of demonstrating in Lyon, 27 police officers were injured as a group of 200 protesters used mortars against them. 5 were arrested for lighting fire and damaging street furniture in the city hub of Place Bellecour, local authorities said. Well, joining me on the news via Zoom from New York is candidate for New York City Council, George Onuorah. Thank you very much for joining us at this point. Now, looking at the May Day celebration all across the world, we noticed that there were protests in different parts of the world, like in France, there was some protests, and of course in India, in Kurdish cities, of course, there were also protests there. What does this say about workers' safety and workers' plight?
Hello. It's really a pleasure to join you today, celebrating International Workers' Day. My name is George Onuorah. I'm here in New York City, speaking with you. And it's a very disturbing thing to witness what had occurred last summer here in the United States. A lot of protests, but that was actually as a result of the political system was heated up because of grievances and issues simmering from the presidency of Donald Trump, and then the killing of George Floyd, which was elicited a very angry sentiments among the populace. But fortunately for us, we're under a new dispensation of President Biden, the 46th president of the United States, and so far so good. Things are working well.
All right, George Onuorah, please just hold on a bit. I'd like to introduce our second guest. The Mayoral Aspirant joins us from the United Kingdom as well, Nims Obunge. Thank you so much for joining us at this point. Looking at the International Workers' Day celebration in the United Kingdom, what is the government doing to aid the plight of workers?
Well, I think that right now it's clear that here in the UK, we're just coming out of a very significant lockdown. Yeah. And what we're trying to ensure happens here in the UK is that we open London back up for business. We open the UK back up for business. Millions of people have received the coronavirus vaccine. The challenge we have is vaccine hesitancy, with many within the Black and minority ethnic communities. And so what we're trying to see happen at this point in time is that folks from all communities can get back to work, and that London can open up and our nation can open back up. So folks are allowed from working at home into being able to work within the open city. And my vision here in London as a mayoral aspirant is to open up the city of London so that we can get back to work. So whilst we celebrate May Day, we just got to make sure everybody's coming back out.
Talking about the COVID-19 pandemic, yes, the United Kingdom has been on a lockdown for quite a long time. How have workers been able to handle the responsibilities?
Well, the challenge for us, like is happening in the premises where at the moment I have over 3,000 people on our database that we have supported who have been furloughed, who have lost their jobs. We try to make sure we're giving food and support to families and those who have, many workers who have been laid off work. So that we're in a situation where we're trying to raise up a COVID recovery fund. And our COVID recovery fund is to ensure that those who are business owners and entrepreneurs are allowed to get back in. At the moment, I'm on the campaign trail trying to encourage small businesses, as you know, many of them have been hit. And so it's been a difficult time. It's been a very difficult time for families. It's been a very difficult time for workers. And today, I think we've just got to get a message of hope and aspiration back to our communities. That's what this is all about at the moment.
All right, Nims, will you please hold on? We'll move to New York, where George Onuorah is still in standby. Looking at the COVID-19 pandemic and the plight of workers, what are the plans for that are being put in place by the Joe Biden administration to aid workers coming back to work? And of course, looking at the fact that some people might have lost their jobs during the pandemic as well.
Yeah, President Biden has done very well. As you may already know, he passed the American Rescue Plan, which is a whopping amount of money, $1.9 trillion under the 117th Congress. And these funds are going to go to the states to help fight the aftermath of COVID, because America, which is the third largest country in the world, 31 million people, are working very hard to return the economy back to post-pandemic levels. And for instance, New York City, or New York State, where I am now, is getting $100 billion. And these monies will go towards vaccination, because as we vaccinate, people will be able to come out to get on with their life. The elderly, small businesses are going to be opening up because the small businesses are the engine that sustain local economy. And we need to get the unemployment rate down as well, because a lot of people have lost their jobs, just like in London and elsewhere in the world. So that's getting America back to work is one of the cardinal things that President Biden is doing, because as we get the economy rolling, it requires a strong labor that will be able to help to activate the economy and get things to where they need to be.
All right, for want of time, we have to end the interview here. Thank you very much, New York candidate, New York City Council candidate George Onuorah, for talking to us, and the mayoral aspirant from the United Kingdom, Nims Obunge. Thank you so much for talking to us at this point.